Hi, Osaka-based Yuki has long embraced the absurd from the over-the-top theatric WWE SmackDown to the incest gunning action of Irreverent once Iron Ray. With Full Metal Schoolgirl, the studio revisited its love for camps and chaos. The result of the title has felt plucked from the PlayStation 2 library of delightfully eccentric action games, bleeding the vivid colors and cel shading of the shonen anime. An arsenal of ranged melee weapons, Full Metal doesn't neglect giving us a helping hand of BMO style ridiculousness. As such as the game premise is satirical pulp, imagine the economy of 2089 Japan dominated by maternal jobs, a mega corporation that enforced non-stop labor throughout on that corporate clunker is known as Working Dead. You take the role of customizable cyborg schoolgirl, selecting from two nearly identical protagonists armed with you have chainsaw limbs and access to an absurd amount of weaponry. Expectedly, your mission to put the end to the unscrupulous business model that entails ascending the floors of 100-story office building, annihilating rooms of drones, all before assassinating the CEO. Wisely, Hughes keeps the focus on the action rather than the explosion, using the premise as the catalyst for you trying to grab upscale peak of how the game is going to revenge being live streamed for viewer the other donations. Well, the game basks itself in their humor. Best of all, localization did team did a great job at capturing the temper of an online audience. And your trek up to executive offices is filled with procedurally generated rooms, destructible furniture, and quirky robo-suits who act as mini-bosses. Between the mission, you choose the schoolgirl will upgrade her cybernetic limbs and install experimental mods that tweak her abilities. These are, of course, just unrestrained at the rest of the game, turning a dropkick into the guided missile of converting your dodge roll into a teleporting dash and like any respectable roguelikes, these augmentations bring a bit of unpredictability and keeps the run feeling distinct even when you're revisiting familiar environments. Yes, the core loop of advancing throughout the office floors does not flirt with repetition. Each run task with you clearing larger similar environments filled with waves of familiar enemies. Even worse, the game uses consumable keys that exacerbate the feeling of backtracking, the inevitability, bringing a sense of modernness, especially since room layouts and the enemy types can feel sparse at the times. But Schoolgirl does try to counter with a few mechanics. Optional challenges might provide reward for the cleaning rooms. Of refrain from using a health regenerating battery charge, and they're also uh, loot that can be dramatically after combat style each time of run. Undoubtedly, some overpowered devices you probably won't utilize until full metal hardware, while discovering which weapons work best is the part fun. If there is one thing that makes Full Metal Schoolgirl memorable, it's the game attitude. Every encounter feels like a punchline seasoned with a shrapnel from power-up screens that parody corporate slogans to boss fights yelling motivational hashtags. Best of all, there is a strong sense of confidence recalling mid 2000s actions curious such as a God Hand on PNO3. You clearly know this is a scruffy shooter and sensibility doesn't try to sand down it throughout edges. Instead, it embraces the chaos and slide on the madness, converting the absurdity into the appeal. Well, with the effects of energy and little schoolgirls and the sharp of the humor and the game's attitude, well, it is fast-paced combat combining explosion firepower with the hand-hitting melee strikes is good enough to keep the adrenaline surging. Sure, there are some reputation and decisions to gatekeep progress behind the consumable keys is expressing, but when the dust settles and the machines stop firing straples, Full Metal Skullgirls is a reminder that the chaos, when delivered with the confidence, can be its own kind of form. It's messy, loud, and very, very unserious. And about the audio side, well, the Full Metal Skullgirls is also fine but less impressive. The sound effects are fine, and while the music also works well as accompaniment for the action, the game only has a handful of songs the whole adventure. No matter how good it sounds, you'll quickly learn to ignore the music due to lack of the song changes. As for the voices, the Japanese tracks is perfect, while the English track is mostly okay. However, due to many quips from enemies that aren't translated, and the fact that the subtitles for most of the dialogue during missions is displayed on the upper left screen instead of the bottom center, you may want to use the English track if you don't want to miss the humor. Well, Full Metal Schoolgirl, it's both. It's ridiculous and addictive. The hack and slash shooting, I love shooting gameplay, isn't hindered by the inclusion of a stamina meter. The constant slew of upgrades keeps the roguelike gameplay feeling fresh even after going throughout 100 levels. The presentation has occasional hiccups as the same parts of the gameplay, but there is nothing that actively takes away from the fun of experience. Don't expect anything groundbreaking, but those looking for an action as a cheesy setting won't be disappointed by Full Metal Schoolgirl. So yeah, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, please.